This has to deal with our good friend, Pete Buttigieg. You know, we're going to be talking about him a lot for today's show because we're finding out more and more about him. Yeah, see, that image right there, let's keep it running for a little bit.
That's how he feels right now.
Internally, that's how he feels. Outside, that's how he feels. Emotionally, financially, physically, spiritually, politically. I mean, come on.
He no longer has high hopes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So this is there we go. Yeah, he probably wants to say goodbye right now. So let's talk about Pete Buttigieg. This has to deal with his role in the company called McKinsey. So as we talked about yesterday, you know, obviously he got permission from McKinsey to talk about his past dealings with them. And to be fair, because some people commented on it, that he probably had to sign a non-disclosure with McKinsey, so he can never really talk about. But it calls into question again about Pete Buttigieg and whether or not he could really be held accountable to stand up to lobby groups or corporations. Because when we covered his handling of South Bend, you know, apparently in order to get anything done with Pete Buttigieg, if he wants something done, you have to talk to his donors first, his lobby groups first.
Shocker.
And then they suggest it to Pete Buttigieg. So remember,
He wouldn't be the first one and won't be the last.
Yeah, those lobby groups give Pete Buttigieg money, and then he does what they say. So again, let's look into this. So McKinsey had a lot of connections, and especially it took part with some massive layoffs that shook Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan in 2007. South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, almost screwed that up, deflected Tuesday night by accusing Medicare for All supporters of being the real job killers. But yet, no one's acknowledging that Pete Buttigieg kind of helped be a job killer. Now, he never really talked about what his role was at, what he really did at McKinsey, but it's looking like that Pete Buttigieg was the guy that played the role of downsizing Blue Cross and Blue Shield, but he's fired back saying that Medicare for All will destroy all insurance jobs. But there's no mention of the fact that he was destroying jobs and he was getting rid of people's jobs. And right now we're only scratching the surface, but Daniel, I see you got something to say.
Yeah, it sounds very much like he's saying that, hey, the job that I used to do wouldn't exist, and I would have never gotten my start if I couldn't destroy other insurance by being insurance.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's as if that, as we've said, that he's literally paid to act a certain way, that if you want to talk to Pete, you got to talk to his donors because his donors are his handlers.
Now, this was actually mentioned to us on Twitter, and there's a whole big Twitter feed from this, but some of our supporters who love Hard Lens Media, by the way, to our viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for even following us on Twitter and mentioning this to us, but the article mentions this as well. Wendell Potter, a former insurance executive turned whistleblower who predicted earlier this week that Buttigieg's client list would include Blue Cross Blue Shield, said Tuesday that he can understand why Pete might try and minimize his role now and make it seem like he was learning how to do spreadsheets. The bottom line, this is a quote from Wendell Potter, the bottom line that I know too well as a former health insurance executive is this. The current system is built to deny people Medicare and sock them with huge bills, Potter wrote in a series of tweets. Pete's healthcare plan protects this system. Now we have a clear understanding of why. Because remember, the whole idea of the health insurance industry and all lobby groups in general is to earn profit. Profit, profit, profit. Never looking after people, never caring about people. I mean, that's just how they are. And Pete Buttigieg helped basically, axe a lot of people from their jobs, even from Blue Cross Blue Shield. So
I think, I think what this shows us is Pete feels far more comfortable firing people for the profits of a company than he does to get all Americans Medicare.
Well, interesting enough, I just want to name just a couple of people that are actually clients of McKinsey, and this was in a Medium post late Tuesday, which include Best Buy, the U.S. Department of Defense, the Natural Resources Defense Council, U.S. Postal Service, Loblaws. I think
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no. Blah,
blah, blah.
No. LOBLAW''S. Loblaws. It's in there. I'm not going crazy, folks. But yeah, that's.
Wait, you're saying I'm not going Joe Biden, but
I'm
no,
not
I think
going
that another thing.
Wait, Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a 1 month or 2 months reporter for Hard Lens Media.
Less than that.
I think I'm only going to be here for a few months, you guys.
Yeah.
Will you invest in me?
So here's the other thing about this that we keep getting, this big picture that we get from Pete Buttigieg, is that his real public background is running a city of 100,000 people and they really don't like him in South Bend. The people that like Pete are the people that are furthest away from where he has acted. The people that don't like Pete tend to be the people who he has acted upon. His background before that is shrouded in mystery. It is slowly being picked out, and as we pull the curtains back, it's worse and worse and worse. And Pete is not happy about that. The reason he's gotten as far as he has in the first place is because the media hasn't done their job. They have treated him with the utmost and most delicate type of kid gloves that they could possibly manufacture for the duration of this race, going, oh, look at him. Doesn't he look swell? He's a small-town mayor. This is the exact kind of guy we want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, until just in the last week. I mean, we've talked about Pete for a while in these terms. So for us, you guys watching, it's not new, but for much of the country, it's as if all these things are brand new news, new pieces of information, and it's fascinating for people to go, oh, Pete, he's
Right.
not the man I thought he was.
I always get skeptical when someone comes out looking as polished as Pete Buttigieg does.
Prim and proper,
Right? For
Kira.
for
Prim and
example,
proper.
so my husband is super hot. Right? He's so hot. And when we first met, I was like, oh, this dude's way too good looking. He's probably a total dud. Right? And there's an automatic response. And that's kind of what I have with Pete, where Pete's like, he's polished, he's perfect, he's got this Ivy League education, he speaks 7 languages, he served in Afghanistan, all of these amazing things. And I was like, this dude polished himself for this position. And the fact that he has no real wins, like progressive wins under his belt, is really...
Kira, I actually got to correct you. He does have wins.
Okay.
He gentrified South Bend.
Okay.
He's helping displace the African American population in South Bend.
He
has
destroyed
a-
houses that weren't, you shouldn't have done.
Yeah, also, mind you, he is willing to listen to his corporate donors.
Progressive wins, people.
Oh well, okay, I'm sorry about that.